so we are going to be learning how to make this beautiful, very simple, you guys might have seen these around before, but these very beautiful necklaces, okay? I'm going to teach you how to make it very simple, give you measurements, and even the measurements of how much of your design you're going to need and length. Okay, so for the materials, I will be using 0.8 millimeter 0.8 millimeter nylon cord. Okay, any nylon cord. You can use any type of cord that you'd like. Make sure that it's 0.8 millimeter because we're going to use it double to make sure our bead goes through the strand. Okay, you're going to need a measuring tape and a textured ring, or you can use those. If you guys do chainmail, you can use one of your aluminum rings. You can use something circular, whatever it is that you can fit a bead big enough, or a focal bead through it. Okay, for instance, with the sample that I have here, it's the same size. So this is a 15 millimeter textured ring. Okay, so 15 millimeters for me works best, and you can fit one bead, two beads like this. Okay, so it can go through. That's what you're going to need for that. I think that's the best size, not too big, not too small. I think this one, even a 12 would be good, because you can put the bead through one at a time. So I use these are textured, and I got these at the Zon. Okay, I got these at the Zon. If one of the moderators, if nobody knows what the Zon means around the beading community, we can let you know in the chat, okay? And I'm going to be using 8mm beads, and for this one, the star is going to be Gorgonia. Okay, if Carol Jo is here, this is a great time to see this beautiful color, because Carol Jo's is carrying Gorgonia. So I'm going to be using these here for this project, okay? You can use your tweezers, your crafting tweezers, to do knots, or I'm going to teach you the favorite technique for that Vicky loves. Vicky loves this technique. I'm going to teach you when doing the knots. So let's get started and put together our beautiful necklace. Who's ready? If you guys have any questions, let me know in the chat before we go on about the materials. If something that you missed, let me know. You're also going to need some cutting stuff like scissors. You're going to need a lighting device so you can burn off the edges here to seal it so it doesn't fray, and some focal beads to hang at the end that are big enough to go through the textured ring we saw. So you can choose anything like this, or I can't show you the other necklace. That one's a surprise until I'm done with this demo. But there are other ones like teardrop, diamond. They look very pretty, that you can use as well. They look amazing when they're, for example, like these. This is my opalite teardrop. Those make these necklaces look really pretty, okay? So you decide on what you want to hang at the end. So we're going to get started. You're going to take your nylon cord and you're going to start with a length of, okay, let's write this down. The measurement of the cord is going to be 54 inches. 54 inches. and you are going to fold it in half. Okay, so we're going to use our 54 inches of cord, and we are folding them in half. Okay, at the end of your cord, you want to create these needles so that your beads can go through. And unfortunately, I am not allowed to show these on TikTok, but I do have a video where I show how to do this, and it's on my TikTok. And it's further down, but you can find it. And it's how to make these beautiful needles. So what I do is I grab my lighting device and I go in about 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch in, leaving that end like this. And right there, I turn it on and it kind of melts. And so when it kind of falls over, you're going to pull the end and you're going to stretch it very slowly to create these needles, okay? Unfortunately, TikTok does not like us playing with fire. So I did do a video so that you guys can see that, okay? And there are so many videos out there of different ways that people like to do it. Some people have a hard time with the way I do it. And you want to make sure that they're really nice and not too thin, okay? Very good. And now what we're going to do is we're going to put this on our textured ring. So you're going to grab your 15 millimeter textured ring, like this one. This one does open. It is very hard to open. So I made sure that I have it very close here, okay, right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this, I'm going to try and find where the opening is so that I put my string, I don't put my string right there, okay? All right, so I'm going to put it on this side. This is going to be the side. So I'm going to put this through. Watch very carefully. Those that have seen me do this pendant knot are probably bored of me doing this, but it's my favorite knot to add rings to, okay? So I'm going to grab my textured ring and I'm going to hold it where I'm going to put my thumb right there. It's going to be my, so I'm holding my ring this way like that. There's my ring, my big thumb, the longer part, and the loop, okay? I am going to grab this part and I'm going to pull it through the loop. My thumb is going to help it keep it in place, because if I remove my thumb, it's not going to allow me to do the knot that I want. So now you can see the two loops, the longer loops are through that, and then my loop here, the two strings are down this way and this one's right here, right? So now we're going to take them back, but before we put them through again, we're going to twist this. Okay, so you're going to twist it like that. So you can see a little X right there. So it's like this. So you're going to twist. And now you're going to pull through. Okay? This way again. You're going to grab this end again. Yes, fold it in half. Yes. And then you're going to twist again. Every time, you can do it as many as you want. And then you're going to pull these down this way. Okay, so the magic happens when you pull it together and you move it down. That's your pendant knot. Okay, makes it really nice. Okay, and that's how I do my knots when I attach this ring. Okay. Any questions about the knot? Yes, so it's 54 inches folded in half. Okay, so no questions about that? Okay, now what you're going to do is we're going to start to design, okay? So how we're going to work this, regardless of what size bead you guys are going to use, you are going to do an 8-inch design. Okay, 8-inch design, which means you would have to work along or put it out on a board. You know, when you do those necklaces boards, you're going to design 8 inches. Okay, 8 inches out. Good morning, everyone. Welcome in. I do Murda, and they can let you know in the chat what it's called. So this from here to here is going to be 8 inches design, which means on my necklace over here, this was my design. Okay, so I did the rondelles, the dark purple, the black kind of, and then this one. Okay, that was my design. From here to here, from the ring, not counting the ring, from here to here, it's 8 inches. Okay, 8 inches from here to there. So regardless of what your pattern is, remember it has to be approximately 8 inches if you want it to look like the one we're doing today. If you want to go more and just go all the way around, you can. This is the great part about this necklace. You can design it to your liking. Hi, Claudette. Welcome in. Okay, so it's going to be a really, really nice, versatile necklace. So we're going to come now on this side of this necklace where we did the little needle. You see right there? That's where I'm going to put my first bead. I'm going to not use spacers for the time to make it easier, but I want to show you the options of how to do it. You can do it knotted like this, knotted this way in between each bead, or you can just simply put your design as if you were doing a bracelet with just spacers in between. You don't have to do the knots. I really like the way the knots look, so I'm going to show you how I do my knots. Okay, welcome in, welcome in. So I'm going to put one of my beads first. This is an 8mm Gorgonia, which is pretty much a high quality poly resin bead with lots of glitter. Okay, it's a beautiful, beautiful bead. We know it as Gorgonia. It was just the name that it was given. It's not, has nothing to do with the actual coral Gorgonia. But this is what I'm using. It's an 8mm, and I love these for these types of necklaces because they're very light, but they have a bigger hole, so it can fit my 2 strings perfectly. And my string is 0.8mm folded in half. So I'm going to run my bead all the way down. Okay, there's my bead. I'm going to make sure my string is pulled out like this. Okay, so there we go. We have our first bead. If you want knots in between, let me show you one of the techniques that I love to use. Not everybody likes it, but if you like it, it might work for you. So you're going to grab this and you're going to put, these fingers are going to grab this here. And then with these two, you're going to put this one in and this one out, and you're going to do this. So you are creating this shape in your hand like this, and you're grabbing the 2 strands like this, and then here you're going to open up. Okay, and I'm going to bring this left part all the way to this right here, and it's going to just touch like this right where the bead is at. Okay, and then I'm going to pull this through this section here. Once I have it in position again, I'm going to grab it. I'm going to put my pointer finger on the bottom and my thumb here to hold it in place. And I'm going to let go of my thumb string. I'm going to let it go, and then I'm going to put my thumb in here, and I'm going to go like this. Okay, and that created your knot. Really close and very uniform. Okay, I love this technique. It's very fast to do. Once you get a hang of it. Okay, so you're going to do it again for each of the beads. You can do the design that you want, and you are going to get creative with your design. Like I said, I'm doing 8-inch because I really like the way that looked, and the measurement was perfect for the size that I wanted it to be. Okay, so there's another one. So you see how the knot's right there. So again, with this, you're going to grab the two here. You're going to open with the right pointer and your thumb. You're going to open it up. So you see how my middle finger is holding those two strands, and there has to be a really nice tight tension because we don't want it to be too loose. Then I'm going to bring this part over here, touching that end of the bead, and then I'm going to pull it through here. Okay, and I'm going to hold it in position. I'm going to hold my pointer and my thumb, and I'm going to let go of my thumb loop, and then I'm going to come in here and just stretch. Okay, that's why your tension has to be really good so that you don't have loose knots. Okay, that's one way of doing it. Now let me show you, for those that may not want to do it this way, or it might not work for you, because it can be kind of difficult to do the first time. But once you practice it 30 minutes a day, and you will become very good at it. Okay, we're going to put the next bead, and now you can do it also with the tweezers. Now with this is going to be, you're so welcome, Star. So that way, and let me show you the difference. The reason why I like this knot versus the one I'm going to do now. You can do it with tweezers as well. I'm going to go here, and I'm going to do an overhand knot. Okay, like this. And then I'm going to put this through here. So I'm just going to grab my tweezers, and I'm going to pull this area here. And that's right there. So now I hold this on this side, and now I'm going to grab my tweezers. I'm going to go in here, and then I'm going to hold it right on my bead, like this. Okay, really close to the bead. Now I'm going to let go, and I'm going to pull. And you have to remember, you have two strands, so you're going to have to pull one, and you're going to have to pull two. Once you do that, you're going to let go, and then you're going to go down. The difference between the knots with the tweezers is because these are bulkier, because we're doing an overhand. So do you see the difference? Because here, you're actually just wrapping around one strand around the way we're doing it, and this one gives you a thicker knot. Okay, let me add another bead, and I'll show you. Sure, Gavin, I'll show you the first one. Okay, so do you see the difference on how a knot looks with the technique that I did first versus the one with the tweezers? I personally like the one with the tweezers better. It's more of a pearl knot, meaning the pearl knots that go in between the pearls. That is, and see how this one stays like this, and this one's very close. Do you see that difference? So this one, my favorite. Okay, so now we're going to do the first one again, okay? You guys can screen record this part if you'd like. You're more than welcome to. I'll give you a couple of minutes to get situated. Welcome in, everybody. This will be on my YouTube as well. My YouTube channel is Zulibea Handmade Creations. Okay, so now we're going to go with the second. Good morning, Mimi. We're going to go with the second, the first one. I'm sorry, the first knot. Here we go. So once you have your bead in place, Gavin, we're going to grab our hand, and it's going to be like this. Okay, so like this. And I'm going to grab this, and then here on top pointer, and then on thumb, I'm going to open. Okay, and I have this. It has to be really good tension. Don't make it loose. It has to have a really good tension. Now you're going to take this part, and you're going to bring it over here, right touching the bead. It has to be super close to that. Then you're going to pull this through this loop here to bring it back in position. So this is what it should look like once you have it back in position. Now you're going to put your pointer here, your thumb here, and you're going to let go of your thumb loop. You let go, you bring it in with your pointer again, and now you're going to separate. Okay, once you separate, that brings that knot right there, very close to the bead. Okay, very uniform, very nice. So you are going to, you're welcome, Gavin. So you're going to continue to do your pattern as you like, with spacers, with different beads, sizes, all the way until you get to 8 inches. Okay, if you want your necklace to look like this. And for those that are joining, this is the necklace that we are learning today. So it has a cord, it has half of it is beaded, and then it goes through that little loop with little hanging dangles. Okay, so this is what I mean with the 8 inches of design. You're going to do 8 inches. This is a 6 millimeter rondelle, and that is an 8 mm bead. Okay, so just letting you know how you can do different types of beads up to 8 millimeters. Wait until you see the version, the Zulified version of that, Grandma D. I'm going to show it as well. So we're going to work till you have 8 inches. Okay, any questions before I move on where the magic happens? Because before your eyes, this necklace is going to turn into another one that already has 8 inches design made. Go to the next step. After you're done with your 8 inches of design. Okay, we are going, it should look, now let me bring this one out because this is a whole different one that I already have 8 inches on. So this is what this one looks like. I also use Gorgonia. Gorgonia is the star of the class today. She's making herself known. And I did 6 mm spacers, and then I did some 8 mm of the same bead, and then 6 mm. Okay, so that is my design there. After you're done with your 8-inch design, you're going to finish it with a knot as well. Okay, so for the knot, again, this one's in black. I'm just going to use, you can use any string that is you're able to burn the ends and singe it. So polyester, nylon work best for this. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and make my final knot, and I'm going to do the same one, because this one I didn't do knots and at the beginning or at the end. So I'm going to do the knot that for this one I'm going to do an overhand because I want it to be thicker so it can hold that bead because it has a big hole. Okay, so overhand knot, I'm going to go over my 2 big fingers and I'm going to cross it like this. Then I'm going to use my tweezers and I'm going to bring this part this way, and then I hold this on this, and then I'm going to bring in through this and then right there. Okay, so I'm holding the end of this bead really tight, and then I'm going to let my fingers loose and I'm going to pull up And that's going to be the thicker knot so that it holds its place where it's supposed to. So it stays in its lane. Not many know how to stay in their lane, but the string we need to make it stay in its lane. Okay, so there we go. That's my overhand knot. We're going to do this. Yes, it's a very, very nice way to keep it very tight up against the bead because it loosens up. Those tweezers are amazing. So see right there, that's my overhand, that's where I'm done. So this is how you're going to end your 8-inch design. And now the fun part begins. So from here to here is 8 inches. I made this necklace to be a total of 23 inches, not counting the ring. So from the end from here to here, it is 23 inches, okay? So you decide, okay? It goes around your neck. It lays very nice. And then you make this go through there. So you decide. I think 20 inches would be a really good one because people like these necklaces look very nice short, like in the collarbone area, okay? So because I did it for me, I wanted a little bit longer because if not, it would look like a choker. I didn't really want a choker, but you can make this into a choker. So you decide how many inches. So if you do 8 inches of design, just make sure that the rest of the inches that you want, toward all the way till the end, just remember there has to be dangles out in the, at the bottom. Okay. So I'm going to leave from here to here. Let me remove this one. So from here to here, I'm going to measure from my end of my design. This is where we get our little tape out. And you're going to measure from the end of that bead. And you can do 15 inches, but that's 15 inches counting the dangles. Okay, so I know that my dangles are going to be at about 14 inches then. Okay, because I want to do maybe a couple of things. So you measure, okay, out how much. So you have an idea. So I'm going to grab my end of this necklace is going to have these right here because I thought they were really cool. And I'm going to add these just so they match the necklace that I have. So these are also Gorgonia polyresin, high quality polyresin beads. Very lightweight. Okay. And I'm going to calculate where my 14 inches was. So I did, because that's where my design is going to start down. And I'm going to put in the small bead because we're going to do 2 dangles right about there. And then we're going to put this one. So I suggest, which you can do a knot before so that it doesn't move. So do you see over here, I did a knot before? You can do that. Okay, you can do that. So you would mark it right about the area that you want. This is how I'm going to show you how to mark this here. So about 14 inches because I want those 2 beads to hang. So I'm going to do my overhand knot. And I'm not going to use my tweezers. I'm going to use my fingers to show you a different way to make it right at the point. So I'm going to pull it through. And because I'm pinching it right where I want it, this is going to happen. You're going to pull and push. So see what I'm doing right here? I'm pushing, I'm pushing, I'm pushing, I'm pushing and pulling at the same time to get it right where I pinched it. So that is there, and then I tighten. Okay? There's my knot. And now I'm going to get a little bead, and then I'm going to get my focal or my hanging bead, which these are super gorgeous. I think these are a 10 millimeter. Remember, it has to fit through our little ring, and then like this. Okay, so now I'm going to do a knot to end this, and it has to be super close, so we're going to use the tweezers. Okay, so we need to get here. You don't have a lot of room to work with, so you're going to do the overhand kind of thing. I usually do 2 fingers, but it's not letting me because it's short. So I'm going to do 1, hold that like this. Then I'm going to grab my tweezers. I'm going to put that in this part here, and then grab the end of that bead. Okay, like this. And then I'm going to pull, 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 and then let go. And then I'm going to, with my own scissors or my nails, I pull down. Okay, so you see? So now we're going to cut this end off at this side. And this is where your lighter comes in, you guys. I can't do it on TikTok. It won't allow me to play with fire in here. So I'm going to do it off screen so you can see what I do. I get the lighter and I actually burn this end, but I don't touch it with the flame. I barely bring it close so it starts melting. Once it starts melting, with the end of my lighting device, I squish it down. Okay, so it can look like a flat pin. So I'm going to do it, and then I squish it down. You see how nice that looks? Looks like a pin. It looks like I used a pin. Okay, you want to squeeze it. You want to squish it. Squish it good. Okay, so now I'm going to come over here, and I want to make the other one maybe a little offset. That looks really pretty too. So I'm going to bring the other one maybe to where about here. Just a little offset. Okay, I'm going to do the same. Overhand, pull it through, and then I'm going to chase it, chase it, chase it, pull and chase, pull and chase. All the way till it touches the area where I'm pinching it, tighten it, and there's your knot. Okay, then I'm going to add my other ones. And my focal or bigger bead, dangling bead. Make sure that it fits your ring going through like this. And then I'm going to do the same thing I did on the other side, which is my end knot, overhand again, pulling it through, trying to catch this, going through the knot there, and then grabbing the end right before the bead, really close, and then pulling this like that, and then making sure nice and tight like that. And then I'm going to, so you want to make sure that the bead that you're putting at the bottom is not bigger hole than the actual, when you do a knot. Now I'm going to cut it And I'm going to burn the end and squeeze it down. Nice little flat. Okay, so that's what it looks like. It's a little separated, so make sure that you get your tweezer really nice and the beads don't move, okay, because this will happen. So I can't fix that now. So, oh, they were supposed to be offset and they were right on the size. Okay, all right, so now this is how you would wear your necklace. Well, let me show you what it looks like on this really bad velvety, it gets so dirty, thing. So you're gonna wrap it around your neck, and then this goes one at a time through. So when it hangs, that's what it looks like. Okay, that's your dinglies. You can make it as close to your neck as you'd like and just have it hang longer. But I really like this look. Okay. That's really cute, right? So these are the ones that I did. So are you ready to get wowed with my version of it? Okay, because this one was the original, but of course, I think they did something different, which is a YouTube channel that is in a foreign language, and I don't know how to pronounce their name, but I will credit them in my tutorial. Okay, so that's the difference. So now let me show you the Zulified version, and I'm going to teach it to you really quick because we have 20 minutes and it's very, very easy. You ready? Let me put it over here. It might not be for a lot of people, but to me, I think it looks gorgeous. Guess what? You can do it with chain too. Okay, so this is my version. I Zulified it a little bit, but I used the cord, and I used a really pretty dangle over here, and I used chain. Well, let me show you real quick your measurements if you want to make the chain version, the Zulified version. Okay? Right? Okay. So as you can see, I didn't even put any spacers in between, right? So I did use a split ring, and I did use a spacer like this. This is a really big spacer to cover the knot. And then I went on and did my design to the 8 inches. And then the dangles are on the 8-inch part instead of the other side, okay? Because that's how it was going to work the best for me, like that. Okay, and it has the stainless steel chain and like this. Okay, so for your necklace version, you're going to get your 15 inches of whatever chain you like to use. This one is a 4mm I think it's curved chain, or yeah, I think it's a curved chain, and it's 4mm hole. And this one, you would need 15 inches of these. So you would cut. We're just going to pretend this is 15 inches for the time's sake, and you're going to cut your 15 inches off chain, right? So you got 15 inches. You want your textured ring, of course. So you do want to get your textured ring. When you get your textured ring, the same size works the best. So we're going to grab that one here. And this is what you're going to do. Okay, so your ring, right? The chain. I love it with the chain. Oh, shit. Oh, shoot. So you are going to now need, instead of the 15-inch, the design being on this side with the cord, you are going to use 24 inches. 24 inches of nylon cord. Okay, you writing this down? So 24 inches of nylon cord. And this is how you're gonna, I'm just gonna show you how to put it together because the rest is the same as the concept that we did, okay? And you're gonna need a 6mm split ring. Split ring. Okay, which is these that have the double coil in them. Okay, double coil. So they look like keychains. 15mm, and that's the textured ring, and this is 6mm split ring. So what you're going to do is one part of the chain, we're going to add the textured ring. Okay. So you want to open the ring towards you like this. Don't ever open the rings this way because you will lose its shape. And this is why I will like the 4mm chain, because it fits through this textured ring. Okay. Yes, it will. With a 0.5mm cord, use smaller beads and a smaller ring. So make it a little more daintier. Because it's, if you use Gorgonia, they're not going to be as heavy, but I recommend smaller beads, like 6mm, Carol. 6mm works best if you're going to do a 0.5. You know, some between like the 4mm's, oh, that would be a dainty one. That's a really pretty one, dainty 4mm with those 4mm Gorgonias. Okay, so right there, you close the ring, bringing it back, make sure it's tight. Back to it. And then on the other end, we're going to add the 6mm split ring. Okay, I'm going to use my split ring opener. And where is it? Okay, so there it is. There I find that opening that I want, because this is where I'm going to go through here. You pull that chain through there. Once you get it in, you're going to grab your flat nose and you're just going to twirl, 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 and twirl, twirl until it's on there. Okay, so now you have your 6mm. So you have this part and you have this part. Okay, you're all set to add your nylon cord. Remember how we added our nylon cord to the beginning of that other necklace? Well, if you don't, here it is. You're going to fold it in half. So your 24-inch cord that you have will now be like a 12. When it's folded in half, it's going to be like a 12-inch cord. Okay, that gives you enough to do 8 inches of design and the dangles. Okay, so you're going to grab your nylon cord in half, and then you're going to go to the split ring and you're going to do the same. You're going to put the loop through like this. Okay, so we're doing the same thing we did with the textured ring. except this one's going to be the 6mm. And now I'm going to put my finger right there. And watch, here we go again with this knot that I like to do. I'm going to grab the other end and I'm going to pull it through, okay, through that loop. I'm going to hold this with this finger. Now the loop is on this side, and now I'm going to twist, okay? From here, I twist, open it up, and move it to this end, okay? So now I have it on this end. Now I'm going to grab this. You see how I grabbed it with my finger so it didn't lose its place? I'm going to do the same. I'm going to twist, and then I'm going to bring it back. You can do it as many times as you like. I'm just going to do those couple of ones. But the more you do, it just keeps stacking up, okay? Then you're going to pull, pull, pull all the way till you get your pendant knot. Okay? And now you are ready from the pendant knot. So if you have this knot and you don't want it to show, okay, if you really don't want it to show, grab a spacer bead that is big enough to cover that. Okay, for example, I used this this size. I used this size, which is an 8mm stainless steel, like that. Okay, you can do it smaller, but this is the only one that I had that would cover it. And then you would put it first in here like that to cover that. You see how nicely that covers it? Makes it look nice and clean. Okay, and then you can start beading the beads on here to do your design. Remember, on this side you're doing the 8-inch design. So you are going to do the same thing, whether you want to bead them on with no knot or with knots, is up to you. And then you're going to continue doing the rest of your design to finish your chain necklace so that it can look like the one that I did. And you can work with so many different patterns on your design. You can make it more than 8 inches, but you see when you do the bead, it holds it in place, and then you can do that knot that you learned today. And then you're going to have to take this on this side. Remember, you have to pull all of the chain through and the ring. Get it like this, hold it, put your thumb, open it up, close, and there's your bead. Really nice hole, really nice knot to it, so it stays in place, so that doesn't move anymore, okay? And you just keep going, doing your design, and then at the end, when you are done with that, this one, I had to push it through, so I'm not gonna take it off so that we don't waste any time. But at the end, I did the 8 inches. You see, I didn't do any knots in between. And at the end, I did a little spacer and I did a knot, overhand knot, and then my dangles. So from my 8 inch, after the 8 inches are done, sorry you guys, my husband brought Larimar in the room. It's gonna be about 2 inches past this part right here. So 2 inches left to the dangle so it can go through. You can do more, but it'll make it too big. So when you wear this, either you can wear it on this side Look at how beautiful. Okay. Goes around, goes around, goes around. And that's how you would do it in this version. Okay? So you have options, and I know that you are going to do so many different. They're so easy. How many love this necklace? Show me in the chat how many thought this necklace was fun and that you can do it.
I can do it.
Yeah, Grandma D. I like both versions, but I wanted to make the chain version because I know a lot of people would rather have the chain. Okay. Very nice. I'm so happy that you guys liked it. Do you guys have any questions? We have 5 more minutes for the class. Opening it up for questions. Let me show you what I did on my other dingle here. On my other dingle here, I did 1, 2, 3. Do you see the design? I did a rondelle, one of these flying saucer shaped ones, another rondelle, and a round bead. Thank you very much, Jennifer. I really appreciate that. If it's your first time here, we do these every month, and we have 5 more classes coming up. So we have 5 great presenters. Can someone please put in the name for the channel for the YouTube for Murda, please? I really appreciate it. It's Zuli Bea Handmade Creations. Thank you. Thank you. I do appreciate. Can you show how to knot to the ring? Yes. Okay, let's do the ring knot again. We have 4 minutes. All right. When you have your cord folded in half, you're gonna make your little bunny ear like this. And you're gonna get whatever ring you're gonna put it through, or it could be one of those charms that have a hole in the middle that is stone. These pendant knots look really nice on them. Anything that you can pull through like this. Okay. Some carvings have those pendant holes. So you're going to pull it through the hole and you're going to grab it where you're going to put your finger like this. Okay. You want to have something here because if you try and do it like that, it will not work. You're going to grab this loop and you're going to pull these other 2 loose ends to the other side. So you're going to flip them over, meaning you're going to swap sides. You're going to make these go on this end, and then your loop now is on this end. Okay? So notice how I'm holding it like this. Now I'm going to twist. Okay? Which means this one, instead of pulling it back through because it will undo it, I'm going to twist. Make a little twist, and then I'm going to pull through, which means now the loop is going to stay on this side while this goes to the other side. Okay? Like that. So every time you want to do it again, you have to twist it. Twist and do it. And you can do it as many times as you want. So when you pull, keep pulling all the way down, it stacks like this. Okay?